Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Field of 68's last call. Do you think that you could take down a black bear?
No, hell no.
I'm going to try.
The first person that's going to die has got to be one of the black guys. So.
Cold cuts, they suck.
Are Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce going to get married?
Hell no.
Here we go. It's last call. Welcome to Last Call here on Stadium. John Fanta, Rob Dolster, John Henson with you. And this is the best time of year, gentlemen. Tonight was awesome. It's why we love doing this. That atmosphere at Creighton, Blue Jays beating number 1 UConn this evening. The Big 12 delivered the goods. BYU beat Baylor. Texas Tech was able to pull it out over TCU. But now is about your questions. We look at your questions. We try to give you answers. So Jacob asks, Rob, did we learn more about UConn or Creighton tonight?
I think we learned a lot more about Creighton than about UConn. I think UConn had an off night that was caused and created by what Creighton did. I think that we learned that they actually have a couple of guys offensively that are going to be able to take over games when they need to. And I think what we saw from them was a defensive effort that is more impressive than I've seen them put together for a number of games this season. So, look, long story short, I was really, really, really impressed with what Creighton did. And while UConn had an off night, I don't think the way that they played was 19 points worse than what Creighton did. They just happened to run into an absolute buzzsaw tonight.
I think that's fair. I think that's absolutely fair. We learn more about Creighton. We learned that our preseason prognostications about Creighton being a potential Final Four team, that they could be correct, and that's still possible. And that just because you want to transfer somewhere, right now the Creighton team that's on the floor has it better than where those kids transferred out of there last offseason. It's interesting to see how teams or players win or lose via portaling. The fact is, Ryan Nembhard went to Gonzaga and Arthur Kaluma went to Kansas State. Neither one of those teams is better than this Creighton team. Creighton's been able to stay on this level, and now Stephen Ashworth is performing like a Creighton point guard.
Yeah, that actually confused me, Kaluma and those guys leaving, but I guess that's just the nature of the beast. I guess NIL money. I don't know, maybe. Is that why they left?
Yeah, money matters. Money matters.
Well, I hope it was worth it. Don't think so.
Right. Trevor.
My God,
Trevor K.
Car or something.
Yeah, Trevor K. Not Trevor V. So this is Trevor K. Not Furry Trevor. He has thoughts on Texas A&M's loss to Arkansas tonight. Are the Aggies now on the bubble? Trevor K. Yes, they are. They are on the bubble. And I got to tell you, okay, Buzz Williams, if you missed the tournament, this is your last call. Texas A&M was supposed to be a top 15, 20-ish team. They haven't done diddly poo in the NCAA tournament under Buzz Williams. What's so funny, Hanson? You haven't heard that in a while?
Diddly poop is so good because you're right. It's such a good word.
They have not done anything. A&M to me has been a disappointment. Right?
Big time. Yeah. No question. No doubt about it.
They're your classic play up to the competition, play down to the competition team that we see every year. They'll probably lose in the first round if they do get there because they're not playing someone that's really good they may be playing someone that's really good, but that doesn't work in the NCAA tournament. You can't just turn it on and off. And that's a team that I'd be looking to maybe fade on that first weekend for sure if they make it.
It's wild. You know what's wild? Right now, they are a 9 seed, guys. They are a 9 seed in our most recent bracket projection, right? They've beaten Tennessee. They beat Iowa State under neutral. They won at SMU. They beat Kentucky at home. They beat Florida at home. They won at Ohio State. And oh, by the way, they have 5 quad 3 losses now. They lost to Memphis at home, LSU at home. They got swept by Arkansas, and they lost at Vanderbilt. They've lost 3 in a row. I have no idea what to make of this team. Right, they have Rob, they have some of the best wins in college. I don't know how many teams have a win over Tennessee and went over Iowa State and can say they have those 2 wins. And I don't think there's a
If
single
they stay
other
out of
team.
if they stay out of quad
anywhere
3,
near
they'll be fine.
Yeah. Yeah, right. Here's the good news: there ain't going to be any quad 3 teams in the NCAA tournament. So bookmark it.
Right.
Texas A&M Final Four. Here we go. We're seeing them in Phoenix, Henson.
Frustrating for them. That's a bad loss to Arkansas. Richard asks, is it Houston's turn to lose this weekend to Baylor? I'm going to say yes.
That one, yeah, that's at Baylor, right?
At Baylor, I'm going to say yes.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
I think that the way that you beat this Houston team is you got to be able to have guards that can operate with that. It's not really like it's weird the way that they guard ball screens. They don't really trap it. It's not really a hard hedge, but they just kind of they send 2 at you and they make you get rid of the ball. And what Kansas did against them was they started these ball screens out like 40 feet away from the basket so that when they sent 2 at you, they can make a quick little pass to KJ Adams at the top of the key and then let him kind of play 4-on-3. It was like the Henson. It reminded me a little bit of watching what Steph Curry and Draymond Green did back in the day, right? Where they would just kind of all of a sudden you got that 4-on-3, you got that 2-on-1, you got that advantage in the half court. And Draymond Green made all the right decisions. And KJ Adams against Houston made all the right decisions, and they shot 69% from the floor, which is a very nice outcome for Kansas in that matchup. I don't know if Baylor has that guy at the 4 that can do it. They got a bunch of guards that can make plays in ball screens. I don't know if they have the guy that can kind of take advantage of that 4-on-3 scenario. So that's my one worry with Baylor in this matchup.
Yeah, I agree with you, Rob. If you have a skilled big that can make the right play almost every time, you've got a chance against Houston because they do let that big hedge out and they make you pass the ball and they say, hey, look, we're going to bank on your 4 or your 5 being the playmaker, the facilitator, which obviously most teams don't have. And teams that do have it, the guy's probably in the NBA at this moment. So you don't run up against guys like that. But KJ Adams was a perfect example of maybe a guy that can get the ball, make the right play, get the defense scrambling, because most big guys can't really do that. And if they do that, they're not doing it the right play every time. So that is the strategy to beat them, but you have to have the personnel, and Houston's banking that you don't have them, and they're pretty on point.
One of the fans just said, nobody's talking about Rob Doster fixing Kentucky's defense with a 90-second TikTok.
I did.
High-level stuff right there, too.
I fixed it for him. Next, what do you want me to fix next? Come on, look, I will take I'll take payments here. You tell me who you want me to fix. I will fix it. I will fix it for you. Maybe I should focus on you.
DePaul. If you fix DePaul, that would be close to Jesus fixing Lazarus.
I have an idea for how to fix DePaul. I have an idea for how to fix it.
Okay, what is it?
I think I've told you this, Fana. I think the only way to be able to make DePaul relevant is you have to find a way to be able to turn their NIL money up to like $4 million like this, right? You want to know how to do that pretty quickly? Who's an assistant coach coaching at a top 5 program who has very strong familial connections to the city of Chicago?
Luke Murray.
Luke Murray. Do you think Luke Murray and some of his familial connections would be able to find a way to create NIL money coming in for the University of DePaul or DePaul University? Is it DePaul University or the University of DePaul?
DePaul University.
Either way.
Yeah.
Either way, I would.
He'll be on the radar.
Really creative. Yeah, he's a very good recruiter. He is the guy that does all of this offensive stuff for UConn. I don't know why his name isn't out there more for some of these bigger jobs. Like I think he's not a self-promoter. I don't know. And honestly, I don't think he would take the job, but like I don't know why.
Oh, I think he would. Hold on a minute. I think he'd take the job. You don't think he'd take that job? I think he would take that job.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, I don't think he would. It's DePaul, man.
It's
DePaul. It's DePaul. He's an assistant on the. Well, yeah. I mean, he's turned down other head coaching opportunities. Hey, look, as someone that grew up a half mile from Quinnipiac, please do not hate on my Braves, okay?
No, I'm not hating on them. I'm not hating on them. the MAC. I'm saying, would you rather take like a winning program at the mid-major level or a team that's a basement dweller at the high major level? It's actually a really good question.
Yeah. I look.
You don't see, yeah.
Taking
I'd rather
DePaul
go to
is,
Loyola, honestly.
yeah, taking
like to
DePaul is
play.
the last job that you would get.
You'd rather go to Loyola? Well, if you go to Loyola, you have the nun on your side. So
Yeah.
this is last
That's all I
call.
need.
Yep. We've got more of your questions coming up, including one about a cheesy gordita crunch. Stick with us. This is last call. We've got your questions, and we'll give you the answers. John Fanta, Rob Doster, John Henson with you. Andrew asks, Henson, is Syracuse still alive for a tournament bid after beating NC State tonight? Now, I'm going to do this with you briefly here. Syracuse has a net of 90. They have 2 quadrant 3 losses. They're 2-7 against quad 1. One of those 2 is over North Carolina. NC State, that is a quadrant 1 win. So the Orange now have 3 quadrant 1 wins, maybe. NC State had a net of 75. Henson, could Syracuse still get on the radar?
Yeah, they're your classic end of the season team that looks pretty good, but has work to do. They've got to. Well, shoot, I'm looking at their schedule. They're in trouble. They got a Notre Dame. I mean, they have to win out essentially, and then make a run in the tournament. So they got to probably win like 7 or 8 games in a row, which, I guess anything's possible.
Think about this.
But,
hey, think about this. All right.
Yeah.
So they've got Notre Dame next. They should win that game at home. And it's Jim Boeheim Day Saturday. Congrats to Coach Boeheim. It's his day Saturday. I'm sure Field 68 will have some social media from that. It's going to be a wild scene there. They've got Virginia Tech Tuesday at home. Then they're at Louisville. They're going to win the next 3 games. All right? They're going to have 20 wins, Rob. Like, I'm just saying, if Jim Boeheim was the coach and he had 20 wins, we'd be talking about him. I'll tell you right now. They're going to have 20 wins, and they're going to be at Clemson Tuesday, March the 5th. That's their Super Bowl.
Look, yeah, I got to see them beat Virginia Tech and Clemson first, and I would not put it past them to lose to Notre Dame or lose at They got to win these last 4 and then to win a couple games in the ACC tournament, which is like what, a 6-game winning streak, 7-game winning streak that they got to go on. Their longest winning streak this season is 5. And the teams that they beat on that 5-game winning streak, Cornell, Georgetown, Oregon, Niagara, and Pitt, which is like not all that bad, but it's not what they got coming up. So I don't think it's the craziest thing in the world to think that they have a chance to get in, but I got to see them do it. They got to do something they haven't done yet this season. 6 or 7 in a row.
They've got to make a serious run.
Next question. David B., my buddy down south. He says, Fanta, what did you get at Halls? So, yes, for those who don't know, I was at Hall's Chop House last night in Charleston, South Carolina, with David B. Terrence Oglesby. We walk into
Ooh.
Hall's. The owner knows who we are. He had watched the Charleston game, huge fan. The owner over at Hall's, I have his business card in my wallet. My wallet's in the other room. He paid for our meal. So I want to shout out Hall's. We went in there. We had old fashions. I had a dry aged ribeye. I told Terrence, and this is true. I haven't had a steak in like 2 months. Not because I don't like them. I love steak. I've been laying off the red meat. And we're sitting there. I go, well, I'm just going to get a small filet tonight. He goes, no, you're not. You're going to get a ribeye. I'm like, okay. So I get a dry aged ribeye. Terrence gets some dry aged strip, whatever, filet. He, of course, gets the filet. Mashed potatoes, cream spinach, mac and cheese. It was, I mean, Rob, you had to be there.
Henson, here's what you don't understand. It was Fanta and Terrence Oglesby. We have a podcast called the DTF Podcast. That is me, Terrence Oglesby, and John Fanta. You know who didn't get the invite? You know who didn't get the, hey, Rob, we're calling a game in Charleston. You want to come down and hang out? It'll be awesome. We can all hang out and we'll all go to Halls together. It'll just be the DTF pod. It'll be cool. We'll all hang out like friends. You know who didn't get that text? Who didn't get that call? Me. So I hope you enjoyed your Halls. I hope you enjoyed your Hall. I hope you woke up
that
with
is
the worst
that
thing
is
of your life this morning.
You know
bad
what?
teammate. Bad teammate.
I enjoy two halls. Hall's Chop House and Seton Hall. Okay? Yeah, that's right. Dude. That's right. And you know what? This year network, I don't know what people, all I heard on Sunday night was people talking about Patino and what he said. And I got my own thoughts on that. It was out of line and he crossed the line and he'll be fine, but you can't do that with your players. But all I heard about was what Patino said. Those Pirates got a big win, baby. So shout out to them because they just keep finding ways to win. Next question. Benny B asks Rob, does SMU, the Fighting George W. Bushes, do they have to win the American to get into the NCAA tournament, the American tournament?
Yes, they do.
Benny,
I'm sorry,
they
do.
Well,
they do.
You know,
it's best win this season. What's their best win this season, Fanta? You want to roll through it? Here are their best wins this season. They beat West Virginia. They beat West Virginia. They beat Florida State on the road. They beat Charlotte. They beat North Texas, and they beat Memphis. They haven't beaten an NCAA tournament team yet this year. I'm sorry. SMU needs an auto bid.
Benny, in the words of Randy Jackson, it's going to be a no from me, dog. I'm sorry. I mean, SMU is it's like the American Idol 2007. Henson, did you watch Idol back when it was in its prime with Randy and Paul Abdul? You know what I'm talking about?
Henson was on American Idol. You didn't know this?
Yeah, I dabbled.
Wait,
I remember Ruben Studdard. That's what I remember. I remember Ruben Studdard. That's what I remember.
Ruben Studdard was a stud. Did you dabbled in can you sing?
No, I can't sing. Not at all.
He was on there it was dancing. Yeah, it wasn't American Idol. It was America's Got Talent. He was on there for his dancing.
America's Got Talent. I could possibly be on there, maybe.
I would watch that. Tyler G says, how many bids will the Big East end up getting in the NCAA tournament? I will take this one. So Connecticut obviously is 1. Creighton's 2. Marquette's 3. Remember, if you've beaten Creighton, the win's getting increased in value now. Seton Hall's going to make the NCAA tournament. They're going to will their way to make it. They've done enough. They got 5 quad 1 wins. They beat Connecticut. They beat Marquette. Providence, to me, I think is going to make it. It might be in Dayton, but they've beaten Creighton. They've beaten Marquette. They get Providence in their house March 9th. That could be like a clincher. They could lose UConn. So that's 5. I don't think there's more than 5. If Providence doesn't make it, I think it's because Villanova does. But I think 5 Big East teams dance.
I think you set the line at 5.5, but I think they might get 6, Fana, because I think Butler, as of right now, Butler's in. Yeah, so I think that it's going to be UConn, Marquette, Creighton, and then you get either 2 or 3 of Seton Hall, Villanova, Providence, and Butler. And I think right now, Seton Hall, Providence, and Butler are all in, but it's all very, very, very close. Like I would say that they're probably 3 of the last 8 in, or something like that, right around there.
I'll make a bold prediction though. Okay,
I love bold predictions.
Big East gets 3 to the Sweet 16. And you might be back there saying, well, of course they should. They have 3 of the top 16 teams. One of them comes from the bubble category. I think one of those teams is potent enough on their best day where they could beat a 6 and a 3.
I think Seton Hall has the makeup of an upset-minded team. They're a tough team to match up with. They're tough.
John,
they're tough. They're big. They're strong guards. They're a team that could be a tough team, tough out. We'll call them a tough out.
They're old.
I feel like Kadari Richmond too. That he shows up in the tournament, right? And look, and Devin Carter. If you're going to tell me one guy could pull I don't want to say a Shabazz and win a title, but one guy could put the team on his back and carry him to the Elite 8. Would you be shocked if I woke up and said Devin Carter averaged 35 through 3 games in the tournament and got Providence to the Elite 8? You would not be surprised if he did that. That dude is a baller.
Yep. Ron says 10 lost teams need to stay at home. Just ridiculous. Hey, Ron, go to bed. This is last call. It's last call. These are the last calls of the night. We take your questions. We give you answers. Trevor says, Trevor E, not Trevor V, who's sleeping. What is the panel? Yeah, I mean, I don't want to bury the guy. Trevor E asks, what is the panel's favorite mid-major to make an NCAA tournament run?
Indiana State, baby. How do you not love Indiana State? Indiana State is the team that everybody should be rooting for because everybody needs to see Robbie Avila on the biggest stage possible. Get this guy to a second weekend as a 12 seed, right? That's all we need. Robbie Avila in the second weekend as a 12 seed, and he will be a March Madness legend for years and years to come.
I am gonna go Grand Canyon. Go Grand Canyon, man. Let's get people to know who Grand Canyon is, what they are as a school, and where they came from. I think that'll be a fun team to introduce to America. I love Rob's pick as well. My guy Robbie Avila over there. He's a throwback.
You know what? There's 2 that I love. I would love to see Bucky McMillan and Sanford
Mhm. That's a good one.
go on a run because Sanford has had a sensational season. You know why I would love it? They're 10th in the country in tempo. So if they go on some sort of a run, we're going to get to watch that team on the big dance floor, and I think they could just get the whole country behind them with the way they run the floor. Another team that I really like, if they're able to win the Mid-American, Enrique Freeman and Akron. John Gross and the Zips have had a sensational season. The MAC's been known to produce some great stories. Remember Jason Preston and Ohio? That's a team that they're dangerous because of the way they can score. Freeman, Ali, he's had quite a journey. Greg Tribble, they're averaging over 75 points per game. I would love to see the Zips. It's the Northeast Ohio in me get rolling. Don't sleep on UC Irvine as well. The Anteaters, if they can make it, they are certainly capable of making a run. And you know that's SoCon. As we go back to remember Furman last year, you know that league seems to produce those trendy picks. If I was looking right now, you know, at who could be a trendy pick out of a conference, I go no further than the Southern because Furman did it last year. That's why I love Sanford. Here we go. Final questions. Who is the freshman of the year? Quickly, Henson. Who's the freshman of the year? The best freshman in college basketball.
Oh my goodness. Isaiah Collier? I don't know, man. I don't know. That's
Douster, Dillingham, Shepard.
I think it's.
Yeah,
I would
I
probably
mean,
go
guess
with Reed Shepard because he plays both sides of the
Reed.
ball. Yeah.
Okay. Last question here. Kyle asks Henson and Rob and me. If you had $1 every time Goodman interrupted you, how many cheesy gordita crunches could you buy from Taco Bell?
So a cheesy gordita crunch that's worth it's about, I think it's $3.99 now to buy just the cheesy gordita. $2.69. So basically it's called so 3 interruptions for one cheesy gordita crunch. I would probably have 383,000 cheesy gordita crunches.
I was going to say we'd have a year's supply for sure. We'd be able to eat it every day. We'd eat for free.
I'd have a lot of cheesy gordita crunches. I'm a big chalupa guy myself, but I love a good cheesy.
You know what they got at Taco Bell now? They got these. It's called the grilled cheese burrito. If you guys haven't tried it, you got to try the grilled cheese burrito, man. It will change.
My stomach doesn't agree with the grilled cheese burritos.
I also I've become a big fan of the Doritos Locos Taco. Those orange shells are really, really tasty. This has been Last Call. See you tomorrow.